Hello, everyone, and welcome to the world of the International Fabtalks. We are happy to connect again with our celebrity and guest. You've guessed it right. She is Mrs.Leela Ramesh. She's joining us all the way from California, USA. You want to know who she is? For all of you who are new, she's a wonderful family member of the International Fabtalks. She supports us in all our work. And as well, she'd like to support you too with all the wisdom that she has gained through all these years of having different connections with different people and gaining a lot of experience. She's also a wonderful writer, an author, a poetess, and a senior faculty connected with the art of living. Join us, friends, to welcome our celebrity and guest for today and get to know as to what she's going to share with us. I like to reveal the topic. It is about Vanaprastha. So that is something very ancient, and many people give a lot of importance to it even till date, but yet let's get to know more about it and its significance from our celebrity and guest, Mrs. Leela Ramesh. Hello, ma'am, and welcome to the session, dear.
Thank you. Thank you, Crystal. Once again, it's an honor to be on your platform.
Thank you, ma'am, for being so polite and humble. Every time when I meet you, you always make me feel warm and comfortable. You're an approachable person and a lovely human being. Stay blessed. Dear ma'am, as you've been promising us that you would be sharing something very unique today. For the modern world, it could be unique, but for the people of the previous generations, they are very much connected with something called as Vanaprastha. If you could elaborate and share your knowledge and expertise on this topic, it would be really nice.
Yes. Yes, Crystal. Vanaprastha is an ancient concept, but it is not irrelevant even today. No, all of us who are interested in scriptures, who have a bent towards knowing the higher meaning of life, we have studied about the Chaturashram, the four kinds of ashrams we go through in our life. The first one is Brahmacharya ashram, where your first quarter of the life is dedicated to studies and preparing for the adult life. The next stage, that is Grihastha ashram, being a householder, taking the responsibility of your family and everything that involves maintaining a family, running a family, nurturing a family. And then once those responsibilities are over, you are supposed to hand over everything to your progeny and move on towards your own growth. Contemplate towards what is this life all about. Now that you have time, that's called Vanaprastha. Now that you don't have the responsibility of settling down your children, hopefully everything has happened, your duties are over almost, but you are still involved. That is what we call Vanaprastha. The third stage of life. In olden days, people used to literally do this. Walk to Vana is the forest. Prastha is moving towards the forest. People literally used to leave home and hand over the keys, the responsibility to their children, and then go to a forest and be with a community which is conducive for their spiritual growth. At the same time, be of help to the society around them with their wisdom and knowledge that is gained through more than half of their life. This is the third part of your life, which should naturally lead to the last ashram, that is sannyasa ashram, where you don't even have to serve the society. You are just meditating and you are waiting for the union with the divine, or you might attain moksha also by your practices and your good karma. That is how the scriptures want us to live. Ideally, this is the way to live. Now, there are many examples in our Puranas and history. For example, some of them have skipped the Grihasthashram. For example, Vivekananda, he never entered into Grihasthashram. They preferred seeking their spiritual pursuit and being of help to the society. Though from Brahmacharya, after finishing their studies and acquiring a lot of wealth of wisdom and knowledge, they preferred to go out and spread it to the world, skipping Grihasthashram, which is perfectly fine. And so also I feel in the case of Adi Shankaracharya also, both of them died very young, but they must have come with the samskara of very highly progressed soul, already spiritually highly progressed. They did not have to go through all the ordeals of grihasthashram, which most of us, of course, majority of us need that experience of going through the grihasthashram to understand the futility of it all and to know where my true goal lies. That is required for most of us. So most of us go through all these three stages, and most fortunate of us will go into sannyasa ashram also and attain mumukshatva, moksha. Hmm? And in the olden days, if you see that Kunti, I remember Kunti, although I have read about it. I read about a lot of people who went to Vanaprastha. Kunti stands out for me because she was a real stateswoman who fought for the kingdom for her children. And then when the time came, she went to Vanaprastha. She went to the forest to meditate and to be with the society uh, at large, along with the very people with who she was against, the Gandhari and Dhritarashtra. They were opposing her children. And she played her role to perfection to bring justice to her children. And then she goes with the same people, forgetting all that. That's all over. A chapter is over, and now she is completely new. And they're also in the stage of Vanaprastha. She is also in the stage of Vanaprastha. Now, how beautiful that is to let go of the past and think new in terms of now, what is my role? And all three of them walking to Vanaprastha is one of my favorite, visual picture that I hold in my heart. So, like that, there are very many examples. If we go, the whole session will be about that. And Valmiki also stands out for me, who was a robber. He was leading a very criminal life. He was robbing people of their money, their jewelry, and all. Once Narada Muni comes to him and says, well, for what you are doing all these wrong things? He says, this is for my family, for my wife and children. I'm doing all these wrong things to keep them in comfort. Yes, go and ask your wife and children whether they will take half of the sin that you have committed. So he goes and asks his wife and children. They say, no, we don't want any sin to accrue. We have nothing to do with it. Whatever you are doing, you have to bear the consequences. You are in no way involved with your crime. And then he realizes, hey, what I am doing this, there is no one to partner with me. And that is when he goes into meditation, he pays penance, and an anthill grows and over his body. He was known as Ratnakar in his, probably we can call it Purvashram. And then an anthill grows, which he is not even aware. He's so very immersed in meditation. When he comes out, he is realized. And then that is how he is called Valmiki. That means anthill that has grown over him. And then, of course, we know the rest is history. He created that Ramayana upon the instructions of Narada Muni. So a time comes in all our life. I have seen many people, like I was talking about the jail program also, I have seen many people who are very criminal turning very spiritual. One event, one moment, something happens which brings transformation. That's why we always say opinions keep changing, events change, people change. Everything is changing, not to label anything as permanent. This is about the background of Vanaprastha. There are so very many. Now, we come to the present context. Vanaprastha is very relevant at all times, even now. It can be in the olden days, people literally went to forest to be away from the hustle bustle of the city, their responsibility, family, cutting off everything. They went and practiced their the spiritual knowledge as well as they were of help to the society. They have expanded their vision from my family to the family at large, the society, dispensing their wisdom or in the life that they have lived. Here, in the present context, probably it is not a good idea to leave home and stay in a forest or Himalayas to do all this. You know, we can still practice Vanaprasthashram amid the human jungle, being with our own family, being with the familiar surroundings, how to do that transitioning from Grihasthashram to Vanaprasthashram. It's quite challenging. It's not easy. It's not at all easy because the next generation does not understand what you are doing. No? For example, some of us are very lucky. I'm one of those chosen ones. I got into the spiritual path when I was in my 40s. And many of my relatives, older relatives who were already 70, 80 at that time, they said, why is she so much running after ashram, service projects, this, that? Will the ashram not run without her? No, there were a lot of, I had a lot of resistance from the family members that I'm running away from my family duties and running after ashram and my guru and all that, which was not true. No. You have to balance. Vanaprasthashram is not about cutting off ties with everyone. You are still caring. You are still, your love has expanded from your own immediate family to everyone. That it's what it is. And it's very skillfully you can balance both. Maybe you are not available for family all the time to cook their favorite dish or maybe for anything for socializing and all that, but you are there for them. No, you are very much caring, you are very much loving. That's what Adi Shankara has said. It's Vairagya. Vairagya is not just cutting off everything and be in a saffron clothes or eating some non-tasty food. No, that's not Vairagya. Vairagya is an attached detachment. You are still attached, you are still caring, you are still loving, but at the same time, there is an element of detachment. You withdraw from the ways of your household days, your householder days. You withdraw little by little, degree by degree. It cannot happen overnight. Because the other people will also get the shock and you will also be not able to do it. That is why it's very important to prepare for Vanaprastha when you are still in the Grihasthashram. You have to make a conscious effort. This will be my next stage, and I cannot wait until my responsibilities are over to do the transitioning. And the preparation has to begin now. Like how we prepare when we are in Brahmacharya, we are studying, we are accruing knowledge. At that time, we are preparing for adulthood. We are preparing to earn our living, support a family. Likewise, in the Grihasthashram, you prepare to let go and then be on the Vanaprastha track. So changing the track should be gradual. And there is no one size that fits all. No, to each one of us, it is different. We have to find our own pace. There are no rigid rules. We have to find our own comfort level, to what degree, how much we can transition at what time, so that everybody feels comfortable being around us. You're not disturbing anybody. At the same time, you're not interfering unnecessarily with your children's life who are already adults and they can run their own life. You have made them capable. And that is Vanaprastha. If possible, you can also live separately. You don't have to live with the family. You can live separately so that your day-to-day life is not disturbed. You can practice, you can fix the routine the way you want, but you are still available to your family, to whoever needs you. At the same time, your vision has expanded and you are there for everybody. This is how it is. And also, I have found that in many older people, there is a need to be needed. That my children need me. Without me, they cannot do anything. My advice is needed. I know everything. These kind of things, I think we need to withdraw from. as much as possible. Unless asked, don't give advice. They don't need advice. We can only admire this generation. And if they ask, you are there. You tell whatever you feel. If they want to take it, they take it. Otherwise, they leave. It's all up to them. They will bear the consequences also. It's all up to them. That is how a Vanaprastha needs to be. It's my outlook. Because I'm at a stage where for a long time, I have been transitioning into Vanaprastha. So I can, for myself, with reference to myself, I can say I'm gradually, slowly, I'm transitioning into withdrawing myself from being overly attached. Does not mean, as I said, not caring. Adi Shankara has said, Viraga, about Vairagya, Kasya Sukha na karoti Viraga. What is the joy that Vairagya cannot give you? When you are not feverish about anything, that is the height of joy. And we can experience that height of joy only when we are in that state of mind as attached to detachment. You are involved, you are concerned, you are loving, but at the same time, there is an element of detachment. I'm
Yes.
going with the flow again with my
Yes.
thoughts.
That's wonderful. Ma'am, are there any hurdles with regard to Vanaprastha in the present modern era?
Plenty, yeah, plenty of hurdles. For each one, it is different. It depends upon each one's circumstances, the family setup, the mental setup. Now you are having a mental reset. From your switching from Grihasthashram to Vanaprastha. There is a mental reset, which others cannot relate to, especially the younger generation. They cannot relate to. So these hurdles can be overcome by preparing yourself well ahead, knowing your children or whoever is involved or dependent on you also that you are transitioning. You cannot be the same. You have a different purpose in life now, which you have been preparing. They have seen you, if you are lucky. If you have been preparing for that, they have seen you that you are transitioning. It will be very easy. But for people who have not prepared, then that could be a shock. That's a big hurdle. And then suddenly they feel, now out of dejection, they feel, I want to leave home and I want to be separate. That is because they have not prepared. So that preparation period is very, very important. This is the main hurdle. If you have not prepared, you will definitely face dejection. Especially when you feel rejected by children. It's not rejection by children. The times have changed. Children are living in any part of the world. It's not like olden days, and their priorities are different. And it's a very stress-filled life these days. They have their own family to raise. And to make space for you, mind space for you, make you the priority, will be difficult, will be challenging for them. You will have your place, but if you want to dominate, take the whole space, or feel that I need to be valued, I need to be honored, then that becomes a hurdle. Hurdle is nowhere else, in our own mind, in our own outlook. We need to first look into that. Then that is one hurdle removed. Once you understand that I have to drop this need to be needed, that main hurdle is removed. And the other thing, once you reach retirement age, there is no dearth of information to make you feel financially secure. What are the things that you can do? How you can be financially independent? What are the new hobbies that you can take up? What are the hobbies that you can again bring back, which you could not do before? But nobody prepares you for Vanaprastha, how to be detached, how to be in Vairagya. No? So that is the main hurdle, which I feel, as I said, it is the preparation. Very well ahead of your Vanaprastha. If your mental reset has begun, then the transitioning, the moment your responsibilities are over, you feel happy that your children are on their own, they are leading an adult life and they can, carry out their responsibility like how you have carried out your responsibility and draw happiness from that, watching them, then it's very easy to withdraw slowly and still be available. So I think that is the main thing. That is the main hurdle which we need to we have to take care of that within our own mind. And of course, for being financially independent is very, very important. We cannot say that I have done everything for my children. Now they have to look after me. They have to bear my responsibility. That's not right. No. We need to prepare for our financial stability also as we are settling them down in life. And of course, in extreme cases, anyway, if you have given your love, your time, your efforts to your children, they will stand by you. Have faith in that. But at the same time, don't give them the burden of that I have to do everything for them. I have to do everything. That becomes a hurdle for them to lead their own life, which they have a right. It is one life that they have, and they have a right to lead it the way they want, to raise their family. That is their priority now. Don't make yourself a priority. I think these are the things, it is my personal opinion, which I feel all of us needs to, even I'm learning on the path. I'm also transitioning and I'm learning every time I'm with my daughter's family or with the community of our path. I keep evaluating myself, not anybody else. I keep evaluating myself, and wherever I feel a hurdle in my own mindset, I contemplate and I try to overcome that, to a large extent. And I know it will happen.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing that. You've opened my eyes too. You've really somewhere opened something that was blocking my vision. Like, I always am concerned about my children. So then when you said at one point of time, you should allow them to take care of themselves. You have to find other ways to keep yourself busy. You let out something which is really hidden. Most of the mothers wouldn't want to let go of their children. But today, you've very brilliantly put it across the table that yes, at one point of time, you should hand over everything to your children and see them bloom, and you can choose your path for peace and calm, and try to find happiness in service to the community. Or in earlier days, they walked away into the forest and bonded with the others who were there. And nevertheless, you also said that they are still connected. They still.
That's why, Crystal, it's very important. It's very easy to say prepare, prepare, prepare. But this preparation, I feel, has to begin not even in Grihasthashram, it has to begin at the very childhood. If we know in the olden days, people followed these things. It was natural. Children were told the stories of Dhruva, Prahalad, Nachiket. The seeds were sown. What is the truth of life? What is our real goal in life? They were already, how much they understood does not matter. They are told as stories. But then the stories were told and the seeds were sown. It's sprouting somewhere throughout. In these two stages, in Brahmacharya Ashram and Grihasthashram, it's sprouting. And for such people, such children who have grown up in this atmosphere, it's very easy to transition into. But if you are growing up with all these YouTube cartoons and TikTok, and I don't know what are all there, I'm really not interested also to know. It will be difficult. When they become adults, it will be very, very difficult. That's where people die in misery. And what has happened? Because of elders not feeling comfortable with their children, or children not feeling with their parents' attitude, no understanding, there is a communication gap, there is a generation gap, and they are left in old age homes. Now what's happening? Old age homes are thriving. It has become a commercial setup. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Ma'am, I agree with you, ma'am. You very beautifully put it, and you opened our eyes and you made us see through, like, as to what we need to do at the right time, and not to be a burden to our children, not to, block their joy and happiness. Like, follow the right path at the right time, do the right thing. Value yourself, take care of your health, your physical and mental health, grow spiritually. Yes. You promised us that you're going to share a poem as well. I'll wait
Yeah.
for the poem as well, dear.
Every talk, I just remember a poem which very well connects with the talk that we have had. No, Rabindranath Tagore has been one of my very favorite poets for the kind of spiritual knowledge he gives. At the same time, he is very human, very connected to the world also. So Gitanjali is his most famous Nobel Prize winning collection of poems, but there is another collection of poems called Gardener, which he wrote well before Gitanjali. The second poem, he talks about, no, he is already old and his hairs are gray. People tell him, don't you think it is time for you to contemplate on afterlife? So Rabindranath Tagore says, if I contemplate on my afterlife, who is there to take care of the younger generation? They may need me, they may call me. At that time, I need to be available. He does not say they am indispensable. He says, if they need me, if they call me, I should be available to the society. This is Vanaprastha, what he is talking about. No. So I just remembered that poem and I thought it's a long one. Are you really sure we need to read this? It's quite a long one. We can. Ah, poet, the evening draws near. Your hair is turning gray. Do you, in your lonely musing, hear the message of the afterlife, hereafter? It's evening, the poet said, and I am listening because someone may call from the village. Late though it be, I watch if young straying hearts meet together and two pairs of eager eyes beg for music to break their silence and speak for them. Who is there to weave their passionate songs? If I sit on the shore of life and contemplate death and beyond? No. He can't afford, he says, I can't just afford to sit there and contemplate on my death and afterlife. Who is there for people who may need me? No? If they give me a call, I should be available. No? Younger people. The early evening star disappears. The glow of a funeral pyre slowly dies by the silent river. Jackals cry in chorus from the courtyard of the deserted house in the light of the worn out moon. If some wanderer leaving home come here to watch the night and with bowed head listen to the murmur of the darkness, who is there to whisper the secrets of life into his ears? If I, shutting my doors, should try to free myself from mortal bonds. It's a trifle that my hair is turning grey. It is negligible. It's not a matter of big concern that my hair is turning grey. I'm ever as young or as old as the youngest and the oldest in this village. He can relate himself to any age, people of any age. He can be youngest to the youngest and he can be oldest to the oldest. Some have smiles, sweet and simple, and some a slight twinkle in their eyes. Some have tears that well up in their daylight, and others tears that are hidden in the gloom. They all have need for me, and I have no need to brood over the afterlife. I am of an age with each. What matter if my hair turns grey? This is how the poem ends. He says, I don't care if my hair is grey and I am old and I don't have time to sit and brood upon life hereafter or upon my death. Someone may need me. If they call out for me, I'm available. If I shut my door and sit inside, that's being selfish. No, pursuing your own. You are still in Vanaprastha. You are still able to contribute to the well-being of the society. One should do it. Once you reach a age where you don't have to do anything, that time, having done everything that you could, that is the time you can really enjoy being in solitude. You don't have to do anything. A time will come. Now, in our courses, we cover all these points, from a child, a 6-month-old child to 80-year-old man, how life events go spinning around and what happens at each stage. Our courses are so comprehensive, all inclusive. There is so much wisdom as you go on probing more and more, deeper and deeper into this. You understand my God, how profound is the knowledge that is given in such simple terms and such simple processes that we do in our courses. I'm in awe of it. And as I always say, I'm very grateful. It is still the tip of the iceberg that I know. I don't know anything, but I have begun to understand that I don't know anything. That is the biggest knowledge. I don't know anything is the place where we need to start knowing things. And there is no way you can know everything. Vanaprastha.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for elaborating that topic and making it very clear, both in the ancient times as well as the modern times, how one could follow Vanaprastha, but yet be available for their family members in times of emergency or any help. And of course, you shared that wonderful poem as well. You read it out for us. It was really a wonderful one. We thank you so much, ma'am, for the time and the energy that you take out to share positive vibes on this platform. What I love about you is merging the ancient traditions of India with the modern culture, a blend of both, seeing that we are in sync, that we don't miss out on either the past or the present, like to be united. So that's wonderful. It's very rare to find a combination like this, giving importance to the ancient text and the importance that was shared at that time, making it relevant even today in the society.
That's what our guru has taught us at the very beginning. It's a catchword: deepen your roots, widen your horizon.
Deepen your roots and widen your horizon. It's really nice.
In Kannada also, we have a beautiful Mankutima. He was also like Rabindranath Tagore. He was also a visionary. He has also said that Hale Beru Hosa Chigiru Hudidode Marasobago. That means if an old root and a new shoot both merge together, come together, then the tree will be very beautiful. We need to be that kind of tree. Tree has a lot of life lessons. As we have discussed many times, a tree can teach us a lot of things. How they adapt to changing seasons.
That's really nice. A lot to take away from today's session, ma'am. We thank you so much for your patience and for your time. Looking forward to the next session with you. The topic will be a secret till we meet again in the next session. Till then, it's a goodbye to you, ma'am, with lots of love. We sign off now from the International Fab Talks. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Crystal, for inviting me. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am, for your large heart. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Dear friends, I am sure you will take a lot of information from here today and lead your life in the right way and be there for your family when they need you the most. And of course, you're going to take care about your own personal journey, like what ma'am explained with regard to Vanaprastha. With this, we come to an end to the International Fab Talks for today. Share this wonderful video with the right kind of people. They may get a message. I've got mine today, and I thank ma'am for that. Stay blessed, stay safe. If you like what we are doing, stay connected, bonded, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Stay safe. Thank you, ma'am.